In 1987, a television show aired that would solve over 260 real criminal cases and reunite thousands of families torn apart by tragedy. Mystery entertainment wasn't new, but this was different. This wasn't fiction crafted by screenwriters. These were real disappearances, actual murders, genuine paranormal encounters that law enforcement couldn't crack. Families desperate for answers found hope in broadcast television. Viewers became amateur detectives, calling hotlines with tips that would break cases wide open. The format was revolutionary. Reenactments paired with actual case details, hosted by voices America trusted. It transformed how we consumed true crime, how police investigated cold cases, and how television could serve justice. What made these shows so powerful? Why did millions tune in week after week to witness humanity's darkest moments? The answers reveal something profound about human psychology and our endless fascination with the unexplained. The concept began as 7 special presentations, testing whether American audiences would embrace real unsolved mysteries as entertainment. Network executives were skeptical. True crime existed in documentaries and news programs, but primetime dramatizations of actual ongoing investigations. That was uncharted territory. The first specials aired between 1987 and 1988, each hosted by a different legendary actor. The format was deliberate, open with the mystery, present dramatized reenactments using actors, show actual photographs and evidence, then provide contact information for viewers with tips. The production quality matched Hollywood standards, not cheap documentary footage. Music created tension. Lighting emphasized drama. Yet every detail came from police files and witness statements. The response shocked everyone. Phones rang constantly. Tips poured in from across the nation. Within months of the first special, cases began closing. A fugitive recognized from a reenactment was captured. A missing person was found alive. The formula worked because it balanced entertainment with authenticity, giving viewers both the thrill of mystery and the satisfaction of potentially contributing to real justice. Television had discovered it could be both profitable and purposeful. 3 actors lent their authority to these early specials, and their involvement was no accident. Raymond Burr had spent years as television's most famous defense attorney and later as a wheelchair-bound detective. His voice carried weight, credibility, and compassion. Carl Malden had won an Academy Award and played a detective in one of television's longest-running crime dramas. He understood justice and investigation intimately through decades of portraying law enforcement. Robert Stack brought a different energy, intensity, urgency, and an unforgettable baritone voice that could make the mundane sound ominous. Stack would eventually become the permanent face of the series when it transitioned from specials to a weekly program. His delivery was distinctive, pausing for emphasis, building suspense, even when reading straightforward facts. Viewers trusted these men because they'd invited them into their homes for years. They weren't journalists or police officials. They were familiar faces associated with solving crimes and seeking truth through their fictional roles. This trust was crucial. For families of victims to share their pain on television, for witnesses to come forward with information, the messenger mattered as much as the message. These hosts understood they weren't just narrating entertainment. They were voices for the voiceless, advocates for the forgotten. The numbers tell a remarkable story. Over the show's initial run and subsequent revivals, more than 260 cases were directly solved through viewer tips. 17% of all profiled fugitives were captured. Hundreds of missing persons were located, many reunited with families after years or decades apart. One case involved a fugitive who'd been on the run for over a decade. Within hours of his episode airing, multiple viewers from different states called with sightings. He was arrested 2 days later. Another featured a child abducted by a non-custodial parent in 1985. A viewer in Canada recognized the now teenage child from the age-progressed photo shown on screen and contacted authorities. The reunion happened within a week. Some cases were solved through unexpected means. A woman watching an unrelated segment about amnesia victims suddenly recognized herself in the footage. She'd been missing for 4 years, living without memory of her identity. The show's archive became a powerful tool, remaining accessible for cold case detectives to reference years after episodes aired. Witnesses who weren't ready to come forward immediately sometimes contacted police months or years later after seeing reruns. The show proved that collective attention could accomplish what isolated investigations couldn't. Thousands of eyes watching meant thousands of potential connections. Why do humans gravitate towards stories of tragedy and mystery? Psychologists identify several factors. First, there's the resolution impulse. Our brains crave closure, patterns, answers. Unsolved mysteries create cognitive dissonance. We need them resolved to feel order in the world. Second, there's the safety paradox. Consuming danger from our couches provides vicarious thrills without actual risk. We experience fear and suspense, then turn off the television and return to safety. Third, there's moral engagement. True crime allows us to process ethics, justice, and human nature. We judge perpetrators, empathize with victims, imagine how we'd respond in similar situations. Fourth, the helper effect. These shows offered something fictional crime dramas couldn't: the possibility of actually contributing to justice. Viewers weren't passive consumers, they were potential heroes. This transformed the viewing experience from entertainment to participation. Neuroscience research shows that stories activating multiple emotions simultaneously create stronger memory formation and engagement. These shows combined fear, sadness, hope, curiosity, and righteous anger. They made us feel useful, connected to something larger than ourselves. The format tapped into fundamental human drives: our need for justice, our fascination with deviance, our desire to protect our communities, and our hope that good ultimately prevails. The format these specials pioneered now dominates entertainment. Streaming platforms overflow with true crime documentaries and docu-series. Podcasts dedicated to cold cases attract millions of listeners. Social media communities collaborate on investigating mysteries in real time. The fundamental model remains unchanged: present real cases, engage audiences, solicit tips, pursue justice. Technology has amplified reach exponentially. A case profiled on a modern streaming documentary can reach 200 million viewers globally within weeks. Social media allows instant discussion, theory sharing, and tip coordination. Facial recognition software can scan crowds for fugitives. Digital forensics can enhance old photographs to remarkable clarity. Yet something was lost in the evolution. The original shows carried gravitas, restraint, and respect for victims that modern productions sometimes sacrifice for shock value and entertainment. The hosts spoke with authority and compassion, not sensationalism. Reenactments were tasteful, not gratuitous. The focus remained on solving cases, not creating binge-worthy cliffhangers. Several revivals have attempted to recapture the magic, with varying success. The formula works best when it remembers its dual purpose: entertaining viewers while serving justice. When production values, storytelling craft, and genuine investigative purpose align, the format remains as powerful today as it was in those first 7 specials over 3 decades ago. 7 television specials proved that entertainment could serve justice, that audiences craved authenticity, and that the line between viewer and participant could blur in powerful ways. The hosts became trusted voices for the voiceless. The format became a template copied endlessly. Most importantly, hundreds of real people found answers, closure, and justice through the simple act of Americans paying attention. The mysteries continue, but now we know the power of collective watching. If this blew your mind, subscribe for weekly facts that change how you see the world.